Listen to me. I see no reason why they fear the Somalians.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at 10 of the absolute hardest bosses from across the Xenoblade Chronicles series. Smash ain't gonna get you out of every situation, you know. Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Chimera Lao, Xenoblade Chronicles X. A simple Google search of Lao boss fight will reveal an endless ocean of rage-fueled forum posts. Yeah, that seems about right. The final fight against Chimera Lao has caused many players to give up and quit because of how seemingly impossible he can be. Lao is so high-leveled and spawns in such powerful enemies to help him out that you're bound to question if you simply didn't grind enough. Unbeknownst to some, this was one of those moments where Xenoblade X required you to play in a very specific way. And of course, grind like a madman for the best gear and stats possible. If you were one of those players that lowered the difficulty, don't feel bad. Lao sucks.
Lao's heart, his memories, they are part of me now.
The Blizzard Belgazas, Xenoblade Chronicles. In order to discover this beast for yourself, you will have to beat the Mechanist Core and head to the Great Glacier. Just know that this dude is the second highest leveled boss in the game, and he is no joke. The Blizzard Belgazas boasts an insanely high health pool of more than 600,000 HP and a strong resistance to physical attacks. Your best bet is to just focus on filling up your party gauge and use chain attacks every chance you get. The Blizzard Belgazas is super vulnerable to these kinds of attacks and is more likely to topple over when hit. Just make sure your party can withstand its icy attacks and carry some items on you to cure your party of poison.
Ha! Fiora, we are not done. I fear I approach my limit. Hold me a little longer.
The Immovable Gonzalez. You'll be able to stumble upon this boss in each of the 3 mainline Xenoblade games, but no matter which game you're playing, expect major headaches from this guy. The Immovable Gonzalez sits at level 90, and it can dish out a ton of damage in very little time. In the first Xenoblade, it can lower your defense and strength with Thunderous Roar, and will enter an enraged state when it's down to half of its health. You can almost say this is a test of endurance, but if you're fighting the Immovable Gonzalez in Xenoblade 3, it's a bit of a different story. Hope you got some maneuvers to avoid those AoEs.
Destroy it!
Consul B, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Out of all of the consoles you'll face in Xenoblade 3, Consul B is the toughest of the group. Not only are blowdown and knockback rendered totally useless here, Consul B is highly resistant towards debuffs, forcing you to fight him as he is presented. But what makes him insufferable is how he can keep boosting his damage output while inflicting you with Blaze. Whenever he uses auto attack or Blaze Party, Blaze gets a major boost in damage, the latter granting Consul B higher accuracy and crit rate. If you're having a shorter fuse than usual, it's best to save this boss fight for a single, much shorter play session. Just beat him, and then go cool off for about a day or two. Telethia the Endbringer, Xenoblade Chronicles X. Level 99, 10 million HP, the most powerful enemy in the entire game. If you truly wish to master Xenoblade Chronicles X, this is the ultimate challenge. Telethia the Endbringer can be the most grueling boss fight you will ever have to endure. One major reason for this is just how many arts it has at its disposal compared to most bosses, including the ones on this list. Telethia has arts that can inflict a rainbow of ailments like sleep, shock, knockback, flinch, fatigue, and many others. And while it does not have any noticeable weaknesses, it is moderately resistant to every elemental attack you can inflict. All we can say is good freaking luck to you. You're going to need it.
Time to let it all out. And we got this!
Elma Redux, Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Attention, this way!
Go for it! Don't give them a moment's rest!
If there was one word we could use to describe Elma, it's annoying. While Xenoblade 2's challenge battle mode only has her fight ranked as 4 out of 5 stars in terms of difficulty, oh, that is nowhere close to how aggravating she actually can get. The dumb shtick here is that you'll have to fight 3 ghost Elmas that can resurrect each other quickly if one falls. But what makes our thyroids want to burst is how the ghost Elmas can lock out bars of your party gauge, preventing you from using chain attacks or even reviving party members. Your only means of gaining full access to your gauge again is by nailing Elma with seal reinforcements. Then, try to down all 3 of the ghost Elmas simultaneously.
Photon
It's up to you, Morak.
Very well.
Disciple Lorithia, Xenoblade Chronicles.
We'll never give in to Zanzar.
So full of passion.
Didn't expect a pretty face to turn into something so not pretty. Disciple Lorithia can already be arduous to fight against with her high physical defense and wealth of resistances to, well, almost every status effect under the sun. Surprisingly, that will be the least of your concerns. What makes her fight difficult is how she can summon several nebulae to help her in the fight, forcing you to divide your attack power between her and the nebulae. Even worse, the number of nebulae on the field will determine how high her physical defense goes. If you want the best chances possible, you pretty much need to keep 2 nebulae alive until she is finally dead.
Brother!
Perilwing Ryuho, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Not too many flying bosses in the Xenoblade series, but one tussle with the Perilwing Ryuho will show you exactly why that is the case. Remember at the start of the video how we said that Smash won't get you out of every predicament? Well, fun fact, the Perilwing Ryuho is totally immune to Smash, and knockback, and blowdown, and whatever other debuffs you can inflict. Yeah, there is no immobilizing this beast. You will be the one getting immobilized more, as Perilwing Ryuho can inflict daze against you far longer than any other normal enemy can. Pray you don't get insta-killed by Assault Hawk or Ice Cannon.
Upon this sword.
Ancient Daedala, Xenoblade Chronicles.
If we don't try it, we'll never know.
Leave this to me!
You trying to get us killed?
You know, at least every boss we've seen so far has at least some small breathing room to come up with a strategy. But what do you do against a boss that is impervious to almost every weapon? That's the tough gimmick of the Ancient Daedala. In order to inflict any damage on this thing, you need to topple it over or get your weapons enchanted by the Monado. Of course, it wouldn't be a BS Xenoblade boss without almost total resistance to nearly every status affliction imaginable. And yet, somehow, there is a boss much more grueling than this.
Double blade! Take a quick breather. I don't think we can carry on like this.
The Territorial Rotbart, Xenoblade Chronicles, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. No other boss in the entire Xenoblade series is as aggressive, lethal, and unpredictable as the Territorial Rotbart. Despite only appearing in 2 games, the Rotbart has earned a notorious reputation within the Xenoblade fanbase. For starters, it is totally immune to blowdown and knockback, which are 2 very critical arts you're likely to use when bringing down monsters like this. To make matters worse, the Rotbart is resistant to attacks that inflict sleep, break, paralysis, and lock-on. If you absolutely need to use break, your only option is to use chain attacks. Otherwise, you better have a different plan than what you're used to, and God help you when it becomes enraged.
Oops, that wasn't darn. Why here?
Were you able to best any of these bosses? Let us know down in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays for more great videos every day.